the recording's going to start and you're just going to see this Orisa sitting in spawn in the practice range and be like, what is this guy doing? I'm working on a project behind the scenes, so you'll have to wait
Oh,
and
all
see.
right.
But um,
Oh, oh, and I will say, your video that came out this morning was well timed. Because last night I
oh
had a
dear.
bit of a rough night of comp. In fact, even until the most recent patch that they did, with the most recent balance changes they made, I
Yeah.
swear I feel like there was some kind of behind the scenes thing that they did with the matchmaking.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
games, I had an entire day of games where I wasn't even tilted after it, but I had games where every other game was quite literally just whole team negative, rolled the other team a whole
Yeah,
team
yeah.
negative.
Okay, okay, we'll take a look. We'll take a look. Okay, also, I don't know how I just now put this together, but you're Jonathan.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. From
Oh!
from Dallas.
Okay, yeah, of course, of course. I was wondering, dude, you freaking ghosted me. I said you back, you scumbag.
Wait, oh shoot. Okay, I'm
I
really bad at responding to
that's fine,
messages.
that's fine, that's fine, but it really hurt my feelings.
Oh,
I've been in tears for weeks.
oh, okay.
Um,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
Okay, I
so,
did this thing I'm really bad about. I did have a message that was here, loaded up, ready to send. I just never sent it.
uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. That's a likely story.
Oh.
That's fine, that's fine. Well, congratulations, you're the first student I've ever texted with, so congrats. But all right, man, well,
Yeah.
let's take a look here. So what are we looking at today? You said Juno, potentially?
Yes. I wasn't able to get a really good Juno game. A lot of my match quality just hasn't been where I
Yeah.
feel like I would be able to get very much from it or would be like
Yeah,
worth a dime. So.
yeah, yeah. I understand. I understand. Do you feel like it's been more external or more internal in terms of the match quality, or maybe a little bit of both?
I feel like I don't know because generally I have a pretty good mental when it comes to
Yeah,
games. So I
yeah,
feel like it's a lot of it's kind of been maybe a little external, but
yeah,
most
yeah.
you
I mean,
know
you can be
I'll take
honest with me because it might just be external, but
yeah like I don't know. It's felt like it even feels like a lot of it's just my Lucio. I don't know. I feel like there's something with
yeah.
my Lucio because I he's the one character I'm not able to get my win rate quite above 50% with
Sure.
right now.
I will say that's fairly normal just because like Lucio flexibility compared to like other characters' flexibility is, in my opinion, like twice as hard.
Yeah.
Just because you're required to do some pretty intense mechanical things that a lot of people like. It's not that you can't do them. It's just hard to recognize like when is it good to do them versus like when it's inting. Like not everyone can be a
Yeah.
Frogger. Frogger just has a lot of reps on that, you know.
Hmm.
And so okay, so you want to get a better understanding of a lens through which to view the game. On how to sharpen my own lens so I can pick apart my gameplay. Lucy and Brig primarily, several hours daily. I'd like to get a better understanding of high level Overwatch and how it functions to see how far I can go with it. I'm Overwatch 2 only player. Proved quite fast. I made it to mid game with about 880 hours preseason 9 relatively quickly. Yes. Okay. So any questions about like training time? Because I know you've been in this community for a little while, so you probably have a little bit of an idea of like at least what you ought to be doing.
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea. In fact, I've even gotten a little bit of a regimen going with getting a streak
Mm.
going on like aim labs and like my warm up stuff that I do before I play.
Yeah.
As well as really the biggest thing that I felt that I'm starting to implement is how you take breaks in
Yeah.
between each game to just like stand
Yeah.
up, to step away from your PC.
Yeah.
Started doing that like over the last few days, and it's seemed to help me a little bit, especially today. I've won quite a few more
Yeah,
games than I've lost.
it's one of those things that's like you're not gonna really notice any like major changes, but it's just like one of those things that's gonna affect literally every game that you take a break. Like let's put it this way: what
Mhm.
if I told you that I could increase your win rate or your ability to focus and lock in by like 5% every game? Like I
Yeah.
had to take
Oh,
this magic
yeah,
pill.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not always going to know which ones have the impact from that, but it is going to add up. And you notice that even when I'm streaming, if I'm like actually like seriously grinding a character, even when I'm streaming, I'm doing that.
yeah.
Now, if I'm playing Pugs or rage queuing Reinhardt and Platinum One, it's a different story. But like that, like whenever you're serious, it's not even a question of if. It just needs to be every single time if possible.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm glad to hear that you're starting to implement that, and even like getting in the habit of it, even if that takes a couple of months, it's worth your time.
Okay. I
Okay,
have two codes for today, and there's the other one. The
okay,
game I just played today. I played
got
Lucio
it,
into like full ball dive, and it was absolutely miserable.
got it. Okay,
So,
I'm struggling with mechanics as well as having a consistent lens to view mistakes to streamline and accelerate the learning process. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about that today, but mechanics. Talk to me about mechanics.
mhm. I've actually gotten a lot better with them recently. I even had a day where I just played like I just didn't feel quite warm, so I just played like 2 hours of aim labs. Then I jumped into it, and then I checked my accuracy percentage with Lucio for the day was like 32% accuracy. My mechanics have actually improved like quite a lot since I've just started like
Good.
actually doing external
Good,
things to
good,
help
good,
improve
good,
them.
good,
So.
good, good. I'd say you're probably at a point in time now where like I don't know how long you've been on grinding mechanics on PC and how long you've been just grinding mechanics in general. You're probably at a point in time now to where like aim labs is going to have like diminishing returns. I feel like
Okay.
because you're going to have like so much mouse control experience and so much just raw aim experience, and like now you just have to worry about Lucio aim and Brigitte aim and a lot of the things that. So I would say you're probably at a point in time now where like it's not like diminishing returns, but it's not going to be much, I would say. So maybe it is diminishing returns. Now, interesting here that these codes are like wildly different in terms of time. This one's a long time ago. So why was this one's obvious? You struggled. It's recent. Great. Why this code? Why this jump downtown?
That could just because every time I feel like I get Junkertown, which in theory I know is a pretty good brig map, I just struggle to win on it. I don't know what it is. I feel like I just don't know quite how to navigate
Yeah. Okay.
the first one.
Okay.
Like that was a code I felt like I played very well, but our team still ended up losing, and I'm
Sure.
like that one that game just kind of had me at a loss. So
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'd say Junkertown's an okay brig map. I think the reason why it's considered a good brig map is because historically, like pro teams have played brig on that map, but like that was like part of a compositional strategy. I wouldn't say it's like a good brig map. It's like it's okay. It's okay.
yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Well, we can. Do you have any other questions? Because everything else in your farm looks okay.
Um, not that I can think of off the top of my head, so probably nothing
Okay.
important.
Do you want to start with one of these codes and we can skip around? I mean, I'm down for whatever.
Yeah. Can we start with probably the Junkertown code?
Yeah, let's do it. Because mostly brig here, so it'll be pretty quick. So like Brig is like I think one of the more difficult theory characters because so much of her identity was kind of tied up in two ways, and really the two ways that she was tied up to historically were first off not complete in terms of like they didn't tell you the full story. And also she just if that's all that you know about Brig, you're gonna really struggle. And those two things were peeling dice, which she's still good at, right? But it's situational, it's compositional specific, and it doesn't really tell the full story. Because even at the highest levels, which I've coached Brig, a lot of it is trying to deny the setups first instead of just sitting on top of your flex support, right?
Yes.
And then the other thing is like and something that you probably don't, I mean, you definitely don't even know is the brawl Brig, right? Like frontline, put pressure, put presence. You know, that wasn't really the full story either. But like people still think that like, oh, I've got a shield, I've got a flail, I should be brawling around.
Yeah.
Basically, and you've probably heard me say this, but it's worth repeating. Brig is the short angle control freak. That's what she does. She's like, I am going to control this angle. I'm either going to put pressure from me onto you, or I'm going to deny you from holding those positions. And that may be a little pressure on tank on the enemy team. That might be a little pressure on their DPS. It might be a little pressure on the supports. I don't really know. But the big thing with Brig is because she's so limited with what she can reach, you really, really, really need to put emphasis on where and not who. So that's a good rule for most heroes. But for example, right now, if you're like, okay, well, I want to go for their Ana, how are you going to get there? Should be the first question. You get what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to safely bully the Sigma or pressure the Juno out? Like, from what angle? What's your rollout going to be? They have this. I mean, look at the comp, right? Like, there's no dive here. So how are you going to close distances and put pressure here? And like that's going to be your ability to adapt and solve this without being like totally split from your team. That's your skill. That's your skill. So like let's talk about that right now. So from what you see right now, because every problem is different. There's no one rollout that's going to be the same. I like this rollout. You've seen Sig. You've seen Juno on the left. You've seen Farah. You've seen some stuff. What do you think? What's the plan?
I think even what I remember doing is I bash up left to try and get a little bit of space control because my Winston's dive. Yeah, I think I'm even a little late.
So you go here.
Yes, I think I should have definitely kept walking, and then because
I
now
agree.
Juno's distracted, it's perfect opportunity to pull her out.
Would you describe this as being a high risk, high reward play or a low risk, low reward play?
Relatively low risk.
How so?
It's a Juno.
Well, okay, but think contextually, because by high risk, high reward, I'm talking about like how split are you from your team, how flank heavy are you? You understand what I'm saying?
Pretty split from my team, pretty flank heavy, but also there's literally no reason I need to be with my Ana or Ashe. There's actually nothing that could possibly threaten them.
So this is what I would describe as a high risk, high reward play. This is
Okay.
what I would describe as a low risk, zero reward play, or almost a zero reward play. So this is still the correct play because it provides more reward for the risk. Could the Pharah find you here? Yes. Could you die? Yes. But it should take a long time. A long time. You should be able to pull her out. Winston's distracting. Oh no, the Pharah's on me. I drop. My team walks forward. I hide in mini. If she pushes me, I can contest. I can hide. Like, there's a lot of options for you here. You still might die, but there's reward for it. Now, what I would describe as a low risk, low reward option, better than what you're doing right now, would be what? With what you see now.
I could even just like walk forward, maybe just like swing at the Sig's feet from below.
Sure,
even.
sure. But angle pillet. Spiral pillet.
Walk right side across the
Yeah.
bridge.
Just get to here.
Oh yeah, take that space there.
Just
yeah.
take the space here. There's nobody here, but you can make sure that nobody comes here. You can hit your whip shot on Sigma. If you get the bubble, if you didn't time this well, I honestly think you could have flailed on Sig just a little bit because your Winston's assisting you. And then maybe as this fight devolves, you can assist your Sombra, look for an angle on backline. Maybe it'll devolve into a high risk play. I don't know. My point being is that there's a couple of options here. Are you going to recognize them? And I think the answer is you're thinking about it.
Oh.
Yeah. We're thinking about it, right? This is good. This is good. Taking space. Again, what support would be able to consistently and safely do this and not really run the risk of dying? Not too many, right? Like maybe Moira, maybe Kiriko, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is fine. Now, this is kind of where you have to make a choice. Where do I get value here? Do I want to assist in the tank trade, or do I want to apply a little bit of pressure in backline and bash out? I actually think because of who this tank is, I think it's
Sig,
up to,
you can bully Sig. Yeah,
I think it's up to
totally
you.
bully Sig.
I think it's up to you. I wouldn't go out of my way to pressure Sig, but if he's there, yeah, go for it. So this is okay. He happens to be on the angle that you like, so we're fine with that. And you're still able to assist. And then immediately pushing that out. Beautiful.
Yes.
Really good, really good, really good. Now, what I would be very cautious with doing is engaging a tank on your own tempo, right? Like, this is where you need to be a little bit more patient, wait for your Winston, and then honestly, at this point, this is where you really should consider wrapping behind if you'd like to as well.
Okay.
Or if you do go for tank, just wait for your Winston to assist you. Because, like, right now, you're disengaging while your Winston's engaging, and that's the problem. You see that?
Yes.
Because you don't really have quite the shield HP to be able to take the trade. So I think what you're doing in terms of strategy here is acceptable. I'd say it's even good. Just not the timing. It's not as pretty as we would have liked.
Okay. I think that's the real thing that I start to struggle with, is the timing. Like, I've realized that a lot of the times where I feed or int, it's not just feeding or inting. It's just that, like, I was doing a good play. I was even set up on a good angle.
Yes.
The timing was just off.
That's just it. That's just it. I appreciate this. What you could do from here, here's what you could do from here. You can start to squeeze. Because you're thinking, I don't want to go here. Why?
It's just far.
Too far.
Much
Okay.
personally out of it.
But remember, you're going to rotate here, and then where are you going to rotate from here? Might take too long, but like, let's say that you had the time. Where would you go?
Probably in the little room with like the cars and stuff, the new area.
Right? And then you can compress. This is what I was talking about with the squeeze. Okay? Every character does this. So you have choices here. You either need to commit to this rotation and squeeze, which can work. It'll take a little time. Or you need to immediately double back and squeeze from the other side. But you need to be decisive with what you're doing, because the irony is that you're concerned about taking too long to rotate, and then you're not doing anything.
Okay.
You see what's happening right now?
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh, I'm going to push, but now I can't reach anything, and now I'm out of position, and you've done nothing. So like, your Winston dies here, but you know what? If you're here, this fight's still winnable.
Okay.
This fight's still winnable because if this Sigma cannot push your soldier out anymore.
Yeah.
Because
in fact, this fight is actually still winnable.
and
That's
there
exactly
it
what's
is.
about to happen.
There it is. You see it? You see it? You needed to be there to start. You needed the cover. You needed the mini. You needed to have your soldier. I mean, honestly, like, your soldier could have even rotated the angle deeper if he'd had more confidence.
Yeah,
in
that's
you.
true.
Boy, I just recently. That's kind of morbid. I didn't even see that before. But yeah, I like what you're doing now. But this is where a little bit of prevention, a little bit of setup would have held up. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, frankly, even here, you've got rally.
Yeah, I could just walk.
I want you on backline. I want you on backline right now.
Yeah.
You have, because it's not just the rally; it's also the bash reset here. Like, you could go here, get the pack here, bash to here, pop rally. It's over.
Yeah.
You know, see what space is given and fill that space. So I think that, you know, there's a reason that your masters, you're checking boxes here. You're doing good. But but it's not good enough always for what you want. I think I might pop rally here.
Yeah,
I gotta say, don't. Yeah, I was just gonna say, don't. Even with the flux, like, you need to play your life. Like, there you go. Were you playing for the flux cancel?
A little bit, a little bit.
I mean, it's been a while since you played this game, but yeah. Okay. So this is where Brick is good, where you are going to be what I would say an anchor. Now, I'm not gonna lie with you. This is gonna hurt maybe some Ana players' feelings, but they need to stay in cart, and you need to move.
Really? Oh, really? You know,
Yes.
fair enough, fair enough.
Now, I like Ana taking high ground, usually. But generally, when we're talking about escort, some squishy, valuable, fragile target's going to take space. And an Ana can get value in cart. You can't. We need you to fortify a short angle here, which is where.
True. With my DPS, or even though I honestly kind of like the left side a little bit around
Or
Mega,
here.
because Diva might want to try and
Yeah,
kill
she might stage
Mega
from here.
and-
Yeah, you're thinking ahead, right? So you're either here fortifying this position, or you're actually like here fortifying this
Brawling
position,
with the Winston
or you're
bubble.
here fortifying the position. Right, exactly. Like we need you amplify wherever you're at, essentially. And so basically you need to go, okay, where's the short angle that I can amplify? You wouldn't stand in the middle of the open, but you need to find where's that short angle. And right now you're missing value. So you could be the world's best Brigitte here in terms of hitting every whip, hitting every armor pack, but like what can you actually do here?
Yeah.
You know, not a lot. I don't know what your Winston's doing. Okay, never mind. Your Winston's a genius. This is good. Finding windows of opportunity to time the push forward to take space. This is really good. And just because we want to look at two VODs potentially here, if there's not a lot to say, we're gonna go fast. We're gonna go fast, just like Lucio, and just like you back at the spawn room when you try to spawn camp me. Same thing here. Like literally the exact same argument, right?
Yeah.
Exact same argument, right? Where you can. I mean, this goes without saying, but like
Fortify
playing
the
here,
space.
right? Now you do have to give respect to Far. Obviously, that is it. That you may need to disengage. That is absolutely a possibility. But yeah, okay. And this is where so this is a great moment too, because the question is why would you pocket your Winston and not your Ashe?
Just the position. He's
That's
actually doing
it.
something.
That's it. Well, it's not just the position because he's actually doing something, because technically your Ashe is doing something as well. Think selfishly here.
It's closer range.
It's closer range. It's an angle that actually allows you to do something without just getting poked out. Because you're like, oh, I'm going to get poked out. Yeah, but you'll get poked out here too, and here too eventually. Here, at least you proc your Inspire. You can bash out, you swing, you shield, whatever. There's value here. So essentially, the reason why you would support your soldier earlier on that far rotation, the reason why we would support our DPS here, or even hold the angle here, is because you're expecting somebody to push you there. Not somebody to poke you out, right?
Okay.
You kind of see the difference? So
yes.
I want you to look for a spot, a close angle, where I can hold space and help my team. And if there's somebody else there, that's great. Like here, this rotation's a little late. Good. Good. Check your backline. Backline's fine. Pocket Inspire again. It's unfortunate. It's fine. See, this is the funny thing. This feels really bad. And you definitely extended a little too far once your Winston was out. You see the problem here? Yeah. This is the major problem that you need to be aware of. You got to realize that the push and pull of the battlefield. No Winston bubble. You got to know that not just as a Winston player, but as a support player.
Yes.
So that being said, look at what this Pharah wants to do. Look at her ult. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
She wants to go. Yeah, she wants to get the big cleave onto backline.
That's a 3K.
Yeah.
That's a 3K right there. That's
although
a 3K
I'm not even
rate.
Particularly good at doing this, at least I'm doing it. At least it's still in.
That's the point, right? So you're failing in some terms of the timing. You just stopped the 3K barrage from happening by contesting the space, not on purpose, but just by being at the right spot that worked for you. So then, okay, well now she just flopped, right? Congrats, you just saved your team.
All right.
Now you still lose is fine, but we actually can restabilize here and maybe even get it. We got a trade there as well, and okay, you know, that's gonna happen. But yeah, okay.
Sure, man. Fair enough. You earned it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is good because this is going to be a contested close range angle, right?
Yes.
Now this is gonna feel cancerous versus their Pharah, right? But let's see what you do.
Yeah. In fact. All right. There's even another point where
but see, this is good. This is good, right?
Yes.
You have the opportunity to do this because you have rally. Now, if you didn't have rally here, I would have been a little bit more like, okay, where's that diva? She is definitely coming for me. Be ready. Like, you need to be really cautious here, especially considering you're missing HP here. You see this? So be careful. So I would say, let's put it this way: the execution of this is not good. The strategy is great.
Okay.
You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, this is not good for this diva, especially considering you just bash her right there. Even a good diva, if you bash her out of her flight, she's dead. I mean, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's a great trade.
All right.
And this is good as well, right? Obviously, you got to be a little cautious. I don't know how hard you push this if the Pharaoh doesn't die. But you can, again, set up on the angle. This is where I want to be. That's it. I know your team popped a couple of ultimates there, but the rally alone puts that in the bag for you guys. Listen to the voices. Listen to the voices.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. In fact, you're gonna love it. Second round, a play like that works out real well.
Okay. Joking aside, this could work if you timed with your Winston, but you got to check your Winston's position here. And
the voices got loud.
The voices got loud, and now we've lost position. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And can you guess where the diva is right now?
Setting up high ground, forcing it. Oh wait, is my Ashe? I see everyone, but yeah, there it is.
See, this is why you never listen to voices. I never listen to voices even when they're like real people talking to me. I just ignore them. But yeah, that being said, this is like, I guess, making the best of a bad situation. You do retake the high ground. You retake the position. You hit the whip. Oh, I think you had shield bash there. Yeah. Just mechanical mistakes, rotational minor stuff. It happens. Okay, let's see what you do.
We're about to see a Brig diff. Just be ready. I think it's here.
She does have rally, so you really need to be taking high ground here. Like, I know you're like, oh, I gotta help my Genji. No, frick your Genji. Like, take the high ground, take the position. If you can see him, great. If not, like, and certainly now, please rotate top. Yeah. At least just to like peek and be like, all right, is this far gonna spam me? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna bash shot.
Okay.
But like,
so, you even just take space, just because I
just see what happens. Like, again, this is just not a great.
Oh, because now my soldier. Oh no, my soldier's trying to go and take that little angle there. Okay, good. He didn't die for it.
All right.
This is about to be funny.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie with you. This is a tough comp to play Brig into. You got Ana, Cass, Pharah. Like, it's tough, but yeah. Wait. What was the plan? Okay, so first off, same thing as last time. I don't like this hubris from you. I don't mind you contesting this angle. In fact, that's good. I just don't want you to it's the same kind of thing earlier when you walked into Diva just like at 130 HP. Like, I don't, just be a little smarter with your HP. Be a little smarter with how deep. You should know it that they have rally. Maybe you didn't, but even if
I didn't know the Brig was there. That's
okay. That's fair enough. What?
Oh my god.
Brain rot. Okay, good. Help your Genji out. Walk across. Check the status. Genji. So Genji kind of takes the space for you, so now you're allowed to bash, essentially. Yeah, see, there you go. That whip shot was weird. It's okay. Yeah, but again, this is good. Now that the Diva's coming. The Diva's coming. The Diva's not coming. The Cassidy's coming.
Yes.
Well, something's coming. I don't know. This is Masters. I can't tell who's coming anymore. Okay. Now you have a choice. You can follow the voices now. But also at the same time, you could also control this angle here too and make sure that the Cassidy Pharaoh don't trade as well. Again, because this is a good angle. This is close range. This is close range. I don't really care. Like, I think like this is a little bit riskier. Whereas this was like more honest Overwatch, but also this is way more fun. So like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Now I'm curious to see if they vacated that space. Kind of you could have helped here. Yeah, you could have helped here. But either way, it doesn't really matter all that much. And you do get value in the flank, so yeah, we're okay. Now, this is definitely a voices play. You have rally.
Stuff the joke.
I want you here. Or I want you like here hiding with rally. I want you here. Get up there.
I think the thing was I saw they swapped to Reinhardt and then I was a little cautious about it.
But you know where Reinhardt's gonna be? On point.
Yeah.
you're
Okay,
going to
fair
be
enough,
hiding
yeah.
over here, right? Right. And if he
Oh, I
chases you
see.
over
You
here, you
ratty.
just live, right? Essentially, you pull the tank away. Yeah. So you're avoiding. I agree. But you're like, I don't want to. I know where Reinhardt's going to be. Yeah. And look at where you are, right? You're right on him. So, I mean, this is fine. You're probably still going to get away with it because, like, this is just
Okay.
yeah. I would say you're playing fine. Like, this is fine. This is a fine. Like, this is a fine game. But there's some lapses specifically in where you need to be playing for selfish value. Sometimes how you attain that value is a little bit. You get a little sloppy with your HP. I think packs have been okay. I think the rallies have been okay as well. And just a couple of things like, oh, I went in without my Winston. Maybe the timing's a little off. Oh, I thought I had shield bash. I fell off the high ground. Nothing crazy. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, not too many.
Okay. Now, this is interesting because this is generally the opposite direction most people go when the Brig sees a Pharah. But you go towards her. Why?
Just because I think it's the same logic of like I see it as almost like a hit scan, right? Because if she's not really flying that high up, so I would rather be close to the Pharah where I can at least whip shot her than just like sitting on an angle getting just spammed out by her. But then I give up space here.
You're right. So this is where I want you to think about the position first, not the target. So if you ask yourself, if I'm going to sit here as Brig, how good am I going to be at contesting people on these angles? Here.
Not quite as good.
Why? Why are you not standing here on rollout as
Just-
opposed to this here?
Just the distance.
It's just distance. This is a little bit more compressed, right? Things are a little bit more compressed. Not over here because you're just going to get sniped from over here. But as the fights get here, there's going to be people taking this angle. You're going to be here. This is good. So what happens is I think pushing the Pharah is like, you explained your logic fine. It's like, I can get close to her. She's not flying wide out in open space. I might get poked her out anyway. It turns out the Somber comes over and helps, so it works nicely. But look what happens. This is your job. Your job here is to bodyguard Widow. Why? Because this is the angle that you like. So then if the Sigma, if anything pushes you here, you can contest it. Bam, 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 pack, bam, bam, bam. And you're going to have to disengage if 3 people pushes you, but you're absolutely going to be able to keep your Widow alive. You're going to be able to make this significantly more painful. You're going to build a lot of ult charge, and you're also going to live. Whereas here, you've been playing, really just duck, duck, goose. Like, you've been running all around and not really finding much of anything to push. Do you see immediately how that space was filled? Immediately that space was filled. You position, not target. If you have 2 positions, choose the one with a target on it that you like. But it's all about positioning first. This is fine. This is just high-risk crap. It's fine. So, couple of moments here where your mechanics are going to come back to bite you. Obviously, this is really chaotic. But right here, that bash is fine. This swing is fine. Swing is fine. Swing is fine. But you need to stay on the son of a gun, and you certainly need to hit the whip. And then if you're worrying about point, right, of course, which is fine. But then obviously the key thing is not necessarily whether the whip hits or not, but when the whip is used. Watch. Who cares if you hit the whip here? What's going to happen if you hit the whip shot on this BAP now?
It's going to get weak. Maybe somebody else could finish it off, but, I want to be the one to finish it off.
That's it. That's it, right? So you've actually knocked him outside of your melee range, right? So then when you actually, not only would he be inaccessible, but then if you do have to swap targets like you do here, I really wish we had whip shot right now. Because she's dead. She lives. You see that? She lives.
Yeah.
Now, would that have changed the course of this fight? I have no idea. Actually, yes, it would have, because she's the one on card, right? She's the one on card, and the BAP ends up dying, and then the Pharah would have died.
On the angle there.
Yeah. So again, I guess the takeaway, that like the actionable takeaway here is like, be really careful about when you're whip shotting in duels. Be really careful.
Okay.
Sounds like an obvious thing, but Okay, now this is a really interesting moment, because you got to ask yourself a question here. What position works better for me? What target works better for me? What person should I be supporting right now? This is where stuff gets complicated, right? What are you seeing?
but I think my Sig, he's in a little bit of trouble right now, so I should go be with him because I still have the range where I can pack my Ana, or not, sorry, not my Ana, my Ashe. Uh, as
But
well as there's nothing that I have.
you're basing it off of, oh, he's in trouble, so I should help him, and I don't mind that, but I want you to think outside of that. I want you to think about like
It's also a
holistically.
close range angle that I can deny.
It's a close range angle that you could deny. It's a whip shot. It's denying Pharah. It's denying Sigma Span. It's denying BAP repositioning. It's hitting Inspires. The problem being is that you're not standing on top of your Ashe, so you can't necessarily body block. And in theory, you could also proc your Inspire here. But you tell me which angle, ignore the target, feels more comfortable.
Probably right, or right there where the BAP is, just because it's away from all the like I can't get like dynamited spammed at from all the spam on their comp and stuff. It should feel a little bit better because it
feels better offensively and defensively, right? It feels better offensively and defensively. I don't think you can make this better. Actually, I think you might be able to. You can. Okay, so
both sides. In fact, I remember when you watched Ince versus SSG, Masa, and I think it was like Sparker went for like
Yep. I remember that. But yeah, that's it. Like you solved it. The question being is why are you here then? And I think I know the answer why, but I want you to tell me why.
I think I was just kind of scared of going in there because I saw the Pharah spam going in there, so
I wonder if your Sigma's where your Ashe was, and your Ashe was where your Sigma was, where would you be?
Definitely on right side helping the Ashe because that's a really important angle. Oh, it's still a really important angle of Sigma. Okay, I see. What you're saying.
So you're saying you have a Stigma versus Sigma. You know what it is? It's like, tank. I don't want to help tank. Screw it. Who cares? It's the same thing with third point. Does that sound familiar? Where you were more content to play with your Ashe here than play with your Winston here. It's not about the target. It's about the position. Mm. In the same fashion where on first point, you were very content to push the tank a little bit here. Why? Because this was a really good spot for you, right? You didn't necessarily want to go hard flank here, at least initially, because it just wasn't a very good spot for you, even if it was a squishy. Play your position. I don't care who's there. I don't care if nobody's there.
Okay.
Right? You could, like you said, I can pack from there, you know? Oh, the mother of shifts.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, it's too bad there's a ceiling on it. It's too bad because that's like 2,000 HP otherwise.
The entire half of the barrage was even.
I would love to read this guy's stat line. I guarantee that might have been 3,000 or 4,000 damage right there. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all there is really to say. It's like I think that the fact that there's a tank there kind of discouraged you from holding that angle because you're like, oh, it's not an angle. Well, an angle is always contextual, right? Like your tank is on an angle, your team is on an angle, your Ana's on an angle. There's only no angles when everybody's grouped.
Yeah.
When your team is split into two different factions or more, then every place is an angle. Just depends on which one you want to go to. And I think you're thinking a little bit more about, I want to help the squishy, not want to help the tank, instead of thinking about the position holistically. And that's why you see like pro players. Do you ever see like pro brigs like they help in the sig trade sometimes? You're like, why are they helping the sig trade? Well, it's because it's the angle's really good. The position is really good.
Yeah,
for them, right?
yeah. It's the best thing for them to be able to do at that moment. And even now, I know exactly what I'm going to do. The Pharah is going to take the angle, going to deny the angle from them. Like,
so you're going to take the angle. I mean, honestly, there's a good argument for you to sit here and roll out here and listen. If they all five clear you out and your Sigma backs off, okay, then you rotate to here, sure, right? But there's a real world like you could actually just sit here. Like you could just sit here as well. Now this is interesting. I assume you're gonna have to use your bash to close the distance close though.
Because
and shield HP as well. I want. This is the right play though, right? Like unquestionably the right play.
I just need to predict it a little bit better.
Predict it a little bit better and be there, right? And then heck, there she goes. She goes out. And then honestly, as soon as she's dead, where should you go? Immediately.
I do it.
The voices.
Oh, the split push was really good.
Yeah, that's good. and even if they're out, like just bash to here. This is where you need to be, right?
Yeah.
The voices. But yeah, this is good. Good.
I just mess up mechanics and I don't.
Yeah, you mess up mechanics. I'm curious to see when you whipped. Let's pull it out.
Oh gosh. I think I just threw it into the masses.
Yeah, you just threw it, right? I know it's tempting because it is damage, but, you know, just something to consider. Yeah, and then now it doesn't matter anymore.
Yep.
I mean, heck, even there, I think you actually whipped the Sigma away. Oh, no, you whipped the Ashe away.
Yeah.
You see that? Even if it had been aimed for the Sigma, it's worth pointing out that that is something that you're a little brain dead with. Which
Okay.
you and me both, right? But it's worth pointing out. Okay.
Okay.
But hey, good stuff. Good stuff. Like that's kind of been the theme here is like inconsistency, but like there's a reason why you are really good at this game, and it's because of decisions like that.
And now, because now once the far was. Oh god.
I will say this is another situation where I don't see
could play
really any.
close.
You could play with your sick. You know, I like.
Yeah. Oh,
this.
wait. I think I do that. Wait, do I do that and get fluxed or something?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but see, you're bashing in instead. You should have already been here, right? But you know what? This is still good.
Okay, now
You need to drop. You need to drop faster.
yeah.
Because this is another situation. Let's actually check your whip here. I mean,
I wanted to poop him through a shield.
yeah, I get it. This is probably where you just need to go ahead and drop and not even ego this.
But clearly, Inspire is it's so broken that.
I mean, I will say,
Inspire
listen.
level up.
I will say that this is a fight where they have thrown a lot into this fight, and you guys have thrown nothing into this fight besides Flux, and you've done a good job. You've put out a lot of value, and even this here, like you're on a razor thin margin to win this. If you bash this,
dropped a little early.
Yeah, if you dropped a little earlier, preserved like even 50, 60 more HP, I think you live this. You have enough shield. You can back this one out. You can even just go in. Heck, you could have maybe even secured the kill there. Like, I mean, she's so low.
I could have probably
traded
if I just had a little more
I agree. But yeah, I mean, you still win the fight, right? So, yeah. I mean, this is kind of like this is why I ask the whole high risk, high reward stuff, right? Because there's going to be those choices.
Okay.
Is this where things get spicy?
Yeah, I think. Oh, I remember what happens here. The Pharah makes a really good play.
Where do you need to be?
Right side angle with my Ashe because that's who's gonna get jumped here.
All right, and you recognize it. Again, it's not
a little late. Just a little
late. It's a little late, and there it is. Right, you needed to be there. It's about the position, not the person. If the Sigma's there, you go there too.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of the times I even just like second guess, like because especially when it comes to where the Winston's gonna jump, because it's like, okay, does he want like the cleave? Like, cause I know. Could be tempting for either one, right? Does he want the angle or does he want the
cleave? Difference, if you're playing Winston, why would you prefer a jump here instead of a jump here? Think it from his perspective.
Easier 1v1.
It's easier, right? It's further away is the distance.
Yeah,
you see the distance that he has to jump. So you talked about like I need to know where he is. That's right. Because if this Winston's here, he can absolutely jump up top and you need to be here, right? But there's also a world where like you think he's probably here. This is going to be significantly easier. It's just closer.
Yeah.
Prioritize the angle that's closer to the Winston, essentially, is kind of what you're looking for.
Okay. Yeah, that was a really good play there.
Go. Even bash if you need to. If you think you can if you do it safely, go.
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily be going into the room after your Winston is left, or Sigma, excuse me. So like here, please, but okay, at least you got the right idea. Yeah, some of the whippers. Just stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Wait, this is gonna be really unfortunate. What's about to happen?
All right. See, this is the funny thing. This is where I think it gets really chaotic with Brig. Just make a decision. That's it.
Okay.
Just make a decision. If you want to stick here and stick the Winston, it's fine. If you want to contest the angle here, it's fine. Because let me tell you something. It's not just going to be about the Winston engage. It's going to be where that damage comes in from the angle, right?
The follow-up of it.
So just go with what one makes the most sense, and don't worry about both. Just choose. Hitting the whip would be really good. But
I even almost hit it.
Yeah, and there it is. You see it? It's filled. You see?
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't know if he actually... yeah, they do actually leverage it, right? But it's all right.
Now we've lost a ton of space, and I needed to deny the follow-up there. Yeah, because I could have I should have probably used Rally to just hold them and keep those two off the angle.
It feels, you see how like chaotic it feels when you slowly lose space. There's just no vision, no pressure at all. And it still feels like you're losing this fight even though you're up one. Yeah, you need to get this guy out. There you go. Stay on him. Don't, like, once he's out, just stand him. Do you notice this is kind of what's happening here? Do you remember the squeeze?
Yeah.
Where you were really not sure. You're like, this is too far away. There's nothing to do here. So you kind of go and you hover. This is hovercraft right here. This is hovercraft. You could absolutely find a push into Winston. Control the angle here. You're just doing nothing. You see this?
Okay.
You're literally frozen. I say literally frozen. Definitely not literally frozen. But you're not acting. And it's costing you a lot of value. You could go to point and flank rally. You could take top left and flank rally and win this fight. You could commit to the rotation, bash here, rotate to protect your team. I don't care. Commit.
What is that melody?
The problem here is you don't play the clock. You familiar with the tracer principle?
Between multiple angles, yeah.
Between multiple angles, right? So there's instead of taking the angle and having a setup, you get pincered.
I just walked in,
You get pincered, you're cooked.
Yeah, rally gets forced rather than I get to use it to continue aggression.
That's it, exactly. And in addition to that, you don't actually have any space. So you're going to point here. Point is not at all a priority. You have plenty of time.
Yeah.
You're here.
Yeah, it gives me the really good opportunity to roll
this guy is cooked, GG's, and then you'll be able to continue to commit from this angle here.
Okay.
Just a good general rule. Everybody needs to know that rule. Okay. I think we should stop there. I think we should take a look at some of your Lucio. Let's take some notes really quick. What do you got?
Let's see. First, I need to be more committal with
more commitment.
With how I decide to take angles and where I want to play. I just have to pick one. I also need to make sure I'm prioritizing the range of my angle over the target. Let's see.
Pocketing.
I think those are the two biggest things that I can remember off the top of my head.
And the mechanical.
Oh yeah, the whip
Keep
shots.
an
That's
eye
right.
on when you are whipping. Okay. Any questions?
No, not that I can think of.
That stuff will help with your brig flexibility, because sometimes the answer is do hard flank if you're playing versus heavy spam. And let's take a look here. So you said this one was the ball dive. You got kind of dumpstered. Want to figure out what's going on. Okay. Very, 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 very high ceiling of value versus their comp.
Yeah.
So that's the good news. The bad news is going to be challenging. Going to be challenging. So you're definitely pretty deep on your own angle, but you are denying this is playing to your effective range, and it turns out that the Genji's there too.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to say, it's kind of helping the Genji because he's not getting shot.
I think the problem here is you just object permanence,
Yeah.
She's gonna come back. Stay on her.
Yeah, I was checking my dude. What's my Malga? Why was he so far away?
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like you need to lock in, and you cannot lose this duel. Like this game is over if you lose this duel. In fact, you should probably just uninstall. Like you cannot.
Okay.
And that's it, right? You cannot lose this duel. When you take a position, you take some sort of activity, everything stops until you contest and clear win that duel. Whether the winning that is living or killing or forcing CDs or whatever. I think checking your team's positioning is good here, but there needs to not be what is my Malga? I don't know what your Malga is doing. I don't care. I think he was probably chasing ball. Or looking for backline. Yeah, he was looking for backline. He didn't know where backline was. But honestly, your Malga's in a fine position here. This is Christmas Day for your team in terms of setup. You've got point pressure here. You have a tracer angle. You're denying both people on that flank. If you could just live here, you even have a Moira who's trying to help you out. You are legitimately on the razor's edge of easily winning this fight if you just played this better. You lost your position. That's it. Focus on your job. Focus on your job. Because you had all the tools. You had the boop. You had the amp. You had the cover. You even had a little bit of HP, right? You were fine. You just muffed it. That's all.
All right.
And I think this, I want to emphasize or make sure you were thinking about your team at that point in time.
Yes.
Okay. I know only because this game was recent, I'm asking that.
Wait, actually, what do you mean as much by I was thinking about my team?
As in, when you were turning to look at your Malga, your thoughts were not on what do I need to do to survive or win this Tracer duel.
Oh yeah. I was checking my team. I was
Okay.
It's
Okay.
mostly like it's like a Brig habit because the first
Arbor pack.
I played Brig a lot before I got into Lucio.
Sure.
So it's a Brig habit of checking my team's location. I mean, it's a useful habit as well. It's just it wasn't particularly useful.
Sure. I want to give you an alternative option as well, just because I think it's interesting, where you don't necessarily have to split this hard from your team. You could have very easily rotated with your team here.
Okay.
And then set up your angle from their position. Because your team right now is not fighting, they're rotating. So you could have marked ball, you could have gone with your Malga here, committed as well. And then when you go in with your Malga, you're not really speeding your Malga, but then now you get to pick and choose. What do I want to deny this? Do I deny this? Yeah. So basically, like, set up a short range position, same as Brigitte. The difference though is like when your team is like doing a big rotation, your team isn't fighting. So you can stay with your team. Rotate as a team, fight split. Fight split. Yeah. That's like the general
because I do
rule.
have the mobility to be able to do that. Okay, that's important. I feel like that was something that was really holding me back on the Lucio. Was that there?
Yeah.
Because I would a lot of times I would forego the rotation with my team because I'd be like, oh, but
well, because your teams don't rotate. Your teams don't rotate. Like, how often does this kind of a thing actually happen?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? People just show up and they just start fighting, and so then you need to find your position pretty quickly, right? But if that does happen, okay. So whatever, we try to recontest, doesn't work out. You just have to hit the boop. That's it.
Yeah. I messed it up a few times.
Yeah. To be fair, it's not a matchup you probably have a lot of experience with.
No.
Like, for example, I think the problem here is your proximity. Like, you just need to be a little bit closer on the corner. But yeah, I mean, you just need to hit the boop. That's all. And then once he's out, you check, you immediately reposition, and then so on. And then obviously you miss the boop again. So the thing that's tricky about Ball compared to Winston, for example, is when you're playing Brig versus Winston, there's a lot of pressure to hit that boop. If you hit it, or if you see bubble, you're on vacation, essentially. Not so with this character. This character goes in, and he's already on the way back, and I just don't think you were ready for it. That's basically what ball cycles are. They're not as lethal as Winston, but they're a lot faster, and you just weren't quite ready for it.
Okay.
It's okay, but it's something to be aware of. Because I think in terms of positioning here, like, you're kind of playing, denying the ball engage, marking this angle, and you reposition play with the little angle in your tracer. There's nothing wrong here. You don't have the hard flank here, okay? You're doing fine. You're controlling space. This is fine. I'm curious to see what prompts the amp here.
My Malga pops cardiac, so I'm thinking, okay.
Oh, I see. Yes, excellent. I love it. I love reactive amps. Like, essentially seeing action and then complementing that action, right? Not predicting the action to happen. Because if he pops cardiac, he's gonna do something. Like, something's happening, right? I mean, obviously it is a little bit of prediction, but he had to pop cardiac first, right?
He chases and rolls.
So, I mean, obviously, besides your amp kind of gets forced by the mines, be careful about how close you get there. So I don't see right here, for example. You don't need to be here.
Even if I want to swing that, do it off from a wall.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's mostly, like, ends up not being something you get overly punished for. The reason why that's important is because you go in, you boop just because. It gets Suzu'd. You go back, the Reaper closes the distance on you, and you don't have boop.
Okay.
And now you don't have boop, right? So, either using the boop aggressively is fine, but I did not see a well-executed push there that justified the boop. So then they push back, and it's crazy that you're getting caught with your pants down on a 4-second cooldown, and yet here it is, right? Like, it's like, surely, like, it's fine, but yeah. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong playstyle-wise. It's just one of those whip shot details, right?
Yeah.
That's worth putting time into. Okay, no rotation, so set up. Stay here. You have value here, balls here, tracers here. This is your job. It's immediate. Let's go. Yep. Good stuff. Play your life. I wouldn't chase this too far.
Yeah.
Just because it's awkward, right? So you were not positioned for it to begin with. So you need to be here or you need to be anticipating some sort of follow-up here, which it turns out that there's nobody here, but I would at least check, right?
Okay.
Because you're not really, you hit literally 0 shots and it's 0 healing, so yeah. And then there it is, right? Like, it's frick, man. You know, it's you got to get that ADHD. You got to be like, where's your value? Where's your value?
Okay.
Was that Amazon?
Yes.
Freaking Amazon, dude.
Because sometimes when I do coaching for people, I always have to unplug it every time I do coaching for the
Jeff
the
Bezos, man. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this.
Yeah.
You screw this up pretty badly. Frick.
Yeah,
But he's here. I'm ready. Bam! Beautiful. Beautiful. Did he grapple there? I don't want to overthink that too much. Even if he didn't, I think that's the fact that you were ready. Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Great. This is like the great. Nice job. Good shots, good damage. The idea of the beat, honestly, fine. This fight is still very winnable.
Yeah.
It was just a little late. And I don't think I think the big thing is you didn't know the status of his HP. Like, you didn't know where he was, what was going on. You were locked in the ball. Honestly, I'm not going to hate it. It's okay.
Okay.
Go next. But what I want to see you do is when you mess up like this and you realize, yeah, you're cooked. It's over. This fight's lost. Something has to die now.
And for a trade.
You might as well end for a trade. Right. You might as well end for a trade.
Yeah, and then that's right. And they pop Kitsune. I was like, oh, okay, well, never mind. Just guide it. And
Okay.
Successfully guide it, so.
Yes. Good.
Yeah, because then that forces his shields. Now his engagement.
Yeah, I mean, Lucio is so good versus ball. It's very difficult versus ball, but it really is one of the most underrated skill matchups in the entire game.
Yeah.
But like, you can really ruin his day. And I kind of want to point out again here that like this is one of those situations again where you just need to make a decision and stick with it. If he's TP'd out here, you either need to reposition to deal with this or you need to go backline hunting. And you need to do so quickly because the problem is that you're kind of getting sucked into this ball, but you're just not in a position to deal with him right now. You see that? Mm-hmm. If he had rolled this way, great, he didn't. So then you see what you should be looking at right now?
The Reaper?
Reaper, yeah, Reaper. And you're like, oh, crud. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, like it's like a jump scare. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I like the attention to ball, but the hardest skill that you're going to have to learn with this and a lot is when it's not a priority, right?
Okay.
When it's because it's not has nothing to do with his cooldowns or it's old. It's just, are you in a position to deal with it?
Okay.
And if you are, then deal with it. If not, don't worry about it. Now, you must hit this boop sooner.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's funny, but that shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened. But you know what? I can live with the mechanics failing because you were giving him attention when it made sense. You just shot a little too much. That's all. It happens.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens. Your attention was well placed there. Nice shots. Nice. Flickers, nice. Doing the aim labs for something, I guess. So this is a rotation. You notice this?
Yes.
So you're grouped up. You're grouped. You're assisting your Malga to rotate. Then, as this happens, you have choices. Do I want to assist here? Do I want to mark here? Do I want to dive here? Do I want to check the ball in the angle? Your choice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you go for the flank. You go for the back line. Totally fine.
Oh, I remember that. I get booped.
Don't. Commit.
Oh, yeah. The ball is going to make sure that I don't go back. I think it's around here.
And the funny thing is that you you go back, and so now what should you do?
Now that I'm here, I should.
Now you should stay. Right?
Yeah.
You should deal with the tracer. You should deal with the wrecking ball. Instead, you're like, yeah, you know what? That Kiriko over there. You know, I really love forcing TP. Wham! But you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I am.
Wherever you're positioned, get value there. Right, exactly. Maintain wherever you are, that's where you get value. And I think what's happening is you're sometimes giving the ball attention when you can't, sometimes giving the backline attention when you can't, and that's kind of screwing you up. It's hard, because you got to be thinking about that and mechanics and movement and all that kind of stuff, so. Okay. Go help Malga. I would be here. You cap marginally faster. It's the same as point capture, but your value here is immense, right? So I would be here. Yeah. That way you can mark tracer or deny an angle or something, right? Good boop. Because you were there, right? You were there.
Yep.
So the boop is easy. Yeah, I mean, this is just textbook. Good stuff. I don't even have to look. Cap.
Here I do a really good job. This is the best I do at marking the ball when it's...
Well, you predict. You're like, okay, we're not rotating. We're fighting. This is a good short off angle. I'm going to sit here. You still have one in your aura as well, so this is great. It's a 2v1. We love to see that, which means you should be able to poke him out. Massive HP trade right here.
Yeah.
Massive, and look at the pivot of the blue circles here. So watch how they want to set up.
They have to give up
you
a
see
ton
that?
of space.
So you guys not only win the 2v1, you force a 3v2, and the irony is that this is, if you play this properly, this is still not a 3v2 you should lose. You won't necessarily be able to push it, but you're going to be able to contest this for ages, right? Ages. Again, another good boop. Did you hit the boop? I think you did.
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, champ. Even sitting discipline on your amp, like really easy to use your amp there, and like look at that. Nothing. Then look, so what happens as a result? Tracer gets caught in a 2v1, she gets no help, she dies. And not only that, but because your team threatened the rotation on Juno, she backs out, she's out of position to do anything, and so then the Tracer dies anyway. Beautiful. This is beautiful work. And then as your coal is used, what do? You go back to your team? No. You deepen your angle. You squeeze. Does that sound familiar?
Yes. Yeah.
You squeeze. And so now, frankly, you could have readied it onto this Juno, honestly, if you'd like to. But yeah, this is fine too. You can now deal with Reaper. Good. Yeah. This is like, the funny thing with Lucio is like a lot of the repositioning is required. It is good, but it's not always something you have to do every fight, right? Like that fight versus those dive characters, a lot of just marking, controlling space, and then deepening when appropriate, and yet it felt so mechanically intensive. You know, like you were sweating bullets here, right? And like tucking and moving and booping, right? So even though you're not like moving around the map a lot, there's still a lot of very mechanically intense engagements. And you did so well. That was like the best fight by far.
Yeah, I'm really inexperienced with the ball matchup, but I've played a lot of Lucio recently, so I've gotten a lot better with all of them. Like recently, I've gotten really good at mechanically, like during brawl mirrors when you're like amping your team in, like just staying on a wall, staying above them, and just
yeah. It shows. Now this is the fun thing. You're on the right side. Where should your attention be right now? You've even got a ping.
Yeah, the Tracer.
The Tracer. This is your priority. Leave point, win the 2v1. Win the 2v1. If you win this 2v1, you then deepen onto Juno. You then deepen onto Kiriko. You can go back and peel. So you're worrying. The reason why that's important is not just because angle, but because really he's not any closer, right? He's not like he's here, right? He's way over there. So when you have choices, you're going to choose the assist, the angle, instead of just sitting on main, right?
Okay. I remember he had Blossom, so that's why I wanted to be there.
Yeah, I think the beat's okay, especially with the Kitsune. You just needed to not get in his face. Yeah. Like he's a Reaper, you know. Like even with beat, like you don't want to get in his face. And so the real killer is the ball, because you get in his face, you end up ready for this?
Reaper makes space for the wrecking ball.
You sandwich. You sandwich is what you do. You put yourself in between, which means that you don't have vision or scouting, and you get panzered, and you're dead. I think that point's lost. Yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunate. Obviously, a little bit of mechanics, a little bit of fluster kind of coming in here. Yeah. Really important. You have a fight like that you just kind of reset. You know, like I beefed it, I choked it. It's such a shame too, because like you're gonna remember that fight and be like, oh man, but you really played that fight so well. You know, like you should be remembering like how well you opened that fight. You know.
Okay.
So just remember, like, hey, I did such a good job. Let's mentally reset. What do I need to do this year? We're still in even footing. What's the plan? Do I want to assist my Malga, mark deep in the Juno? Do I want to puppy guard this angle right now? Because we're also going right now. I think the minor thing here is just the positioning. I think this is where you need to commit to the rotation up top here. But I think other than that, this is okay.
Okay.
Yep, dodge the grapple and then play. I think this is just mechanics. A little bit of movement, a little bit of cover usage, a little bit of, obviously, again, hitting the boop there. I actually think you got hit by the grapple, I think.
Wait, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you did. So just a little stuff like that. It's little stuff like that. But I will say, in terms of your strategy there, it's good. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Huge. Remember, don't press W here. Don't press W here. Just because you have boop. Just sit here and shoot him in the face. And frankly, yeah, you even give up point percentage. Totally fine. Good. Yeah. Good. Much better discipline there. You notice that? Like, you're like, oh, I want to go. And then I think it was partly because Juno pressed ultimate, but regardless, that was smart. Okay.
I think I also kept tracking the Blossom. I'm really good at tracking the things that like your Lucio's good at dealing with. Like Blossom, that's a big one. I will like always know when Reaper has it. Blossom Blade, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I respect it. Looks good. I like this as well. Frankly, I just want to see you mirror your team's aggression here.
Okay.
Yeah, like I understand, like but you just need to go. Like your Malga's gonna make so much noise. You just need to go. You need to go.
Okay.
You get one trade here. Like this Juno should die. This Kiriko should die. Like this Diva could have been demacked. Like it's like if your Moira dies and there's the cardiac, it's just yeah. You know, you needed to be in there. You needed to be in there. You needed to be in there. It's that simple.
Here, I think we just kind of win without much more happening. So.
Oh, you win.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna lose because I was not liking your positioning. Again, like Control's face here. Like I know you're like, oh no. Control says get off the floor. Where do you need to be?
Okay. Top left.
Top left. Yeah, you need to be here. Assisting your Cassidy here. Like you do not want to be here. You do not want to be here.
Yeah.
All right, let's see the big beat.
There's literally nothing. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, no. I trust. 7-man beat. 7-man beat.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Nice, dude. Lucio goes.
A lot of that was kind of like ball specific or dive specific.
It was, but extrapolate it.
I think again, like the micro of the boop. Same with Rig. I need to be a little more careful about when I'm using it. Make sure I'm using it to mirror aggression. Like, you know, when my team is committing cooldowns, that's when I also want to make sure. Similar logic to with Amp. Like how I amped when I saw my Malga's aggression. Similar thing with if I see enemy team aggression, like if a enemy team, like if a Diva commits boosters, right? Then
it really may just be like, hey, when there's a character that's worth booping, when do I boop him?
Okay.
You know, if I'm playing Tracer, I'm playing Winston, Wrecking Ball, Diva, Reaper, when do I boop them?
Okay.
They'll just boop brainlessly. You know, most of the time it's probably fine, but boop with some intention. You know, that might actually be like a couple of fun games where you go in and your whole purpose for the game is to like win and win. Like, who do I boop? Like, where do I boop? Right.
Okay.
Might add some fun nuance to it. Okay. What else?
Mirroring my team's aggression.
Mirror team's aggro with push, pull. And the most important thing when it came to responsibilities, what is your responsibility? What should you be looking at? What should be your focus?
Whatever.
Starting with the first fight, right? Your focus should be with whatever is convenient, closest, don't chase value. Exist or deepen. Because that's the thing. It's like that's where you need to be. It's very similar to Brigitte, right? Where like where's the position that makes the most sense for me to control? Great. Let's get value denying the Tracer Reaper. Now, if you want to pre-fight, take the time, set up, think things through. I'm gonna go here. I think they're gonna come from here, and predict proactively. Set that stuff up. Very good. But if you're wrong, you don't start over from scratch. You just invest what time, what positioning, what CDs you already have to get value out of whatever you already have set up.
Okay.
Don't second guess everything because, oh no, I should have been. Doesn't matter. Get value here. Get value here. Because it's basically the equivalent of whereas with Brig you were frozen in those situations. With Lucio you were doing something that's almost as bad, where you were like completely reinventing the wheel and rotating mid-fight all the way across the map. Only to just not get value anyway.
Okay.
Wherever you are, if you want to reevaluate your setup phase and your prediction about where you should have been or when you should have been, that's fine. But if you're here, this is where you get value. That should be your responsibility.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. That's something I definitely have to make sure I'm considering there.
Yeah. I think your amps are pretty good though. I think your beats were for the most part all right as well. I mean, your practice shows. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Because I really have been putting a ton of time into Lucio. I would like to be able to get to GM pretty soon. But man, the games have just felt like really, really rough.
Yeah, they can be. It's rank reset is what it is.
True.
I hate rank reset so much.
Yeah, no, I'm learning.